Hi guys, you're welcome once again to the Lady Lawyer channel. My name is Victoria and thank you very much for stopping by. As you may have noticed in the topic of this video, today I am starting a new series on studying in Germany, and this information would be applicable to everybody but may also be a little bit specific to people from Africa and generally. So today the series is going to be a long one, and we will talk about many topics, including from when you conceive the idea of coming to study in Germany up to eventually when you arrive in Germany. However, this episode is going to be about debunking the myths and the misconceptions around studying in Germany. I've taken the liberty of taking a few notes on my phone, and so if you see me look down a few times, please, I'm not doing anything else. I'm just looking at some of the points I've written down. Now, let's go to the first point. First myth, first misconception about studying in Germany. Number one, drum roll please. It's free. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not really free. And I believe when you say such a statement, that statement must be qualified. Generally, public schools in Germany are free. That's a fact. Also, when you say it's free, most public schools, if not all, have some sort of semester fee that the student pays every semester. Now, the ceiling for this amount is 500 euros. So I don't know if there is any school where the semester fee is more than 500 euro every semester. In my own university, I pay around 350 euros every semester. So this is the cost that must come out of the pocket of the student. And there is no scholarship, as far as I'm aware, that covers this cost. So this is the first thing. It's not free. You pay a semester fee every semester in public universities. Now, the second part of the conversation is, what about private universities and private schools, private Fachhochschule? Gentlemen and ladies, it's not free. The costs and the fees in private universities are about the same, if not more, with the counterpart universities in the UK and North America. So you are not getting anything special by coming to a private university in Germany. The cost is probably the same, if not more. So this is the first thing. The biggest problem that is there with public universities in Germany is that a lot of them do not have courses in English. So when you want to come and study in Germany and you want to take advantage of the free education, in quotes now, you have to also think about finding the right program for yourself in English. This is almost impossible, if not very difficult, for undergraduate programs. For postgraduate programs, they are a bit better nowadays, and you can most of the time find master's program or doctoral programs, of course, in English. However, for undergraduate programs, this is still very hard. So when you're coming, and for the most part, most people that I know who are studying from many African countries have gone to private schools and they've had to pay through their nose for the fees. Before you can get the German visa to study in Germany, you need to prove to the government that you have the means to take care of yourself. And by the means, I mean the financial means. So it's either you have a sponsor that can give you documentation to show that you'll be taken care of in the country, or you get a scholarship, which we will get to in subsequent videos, how to go about it, and I'll provide information that is specific to my field. The third thing you can do is what they call blocked account. You have to provide proof to the government that you have a certain amount of money kept aside for your study in Germany. Now, this is a very specific procedure which the German government has outlined in conjunction with specific German banks. So you have to, now the figure is around 10,000 euros, if I remember correctly. You have to deposit this amount in a German bank that is open in your name. And when you get to Germany, you cannot withdraw the money at once. You show this proof and add it to your documentation for your visa application process. When you get to Germany, you are not allowed to withdraw the money at once. However, you are allowed to withdraw a specific amount of money every month. So this is another part of it which many people don't mention when they say education in Germany is free. You have to provide proof that you can take care of yourself. You have to have a sponsor if you cannot provide that proof, or you have to have a scholarship. And then you pay semester fees in public universities, while in private universities, you can pay school fees that are as expensive as you would pay in North America or in the United Kingdom. Point 2. The second point is, this is a very interesting one, and perhaps a common sense one. The second myth is, oh, you'll be fine, you can get around Germany with English language. This is quite interesting. I think it's almost commonsensical to say that Germany is Germany, and German is the language of the Germans. I mean, this is just normal, you would expect. Now, when you are in Germany, depending on which city you are, which town your university is, be ready to learn German. I think this is very, very important and must be told to every person who moves to this country. You cannot come to Germany and expect that you don't need to learn German and you'll be fine. No, it doesn't work like that. For the most part, if you are isolated or insulated within your university, for example, if your program is in English, you may be able to get around, but the problem is that you would have no friends, you wouldn't be able to even read your letters, you won't be able to do administrative procedures by yourself, and this is a very isolating situation. So, additionally, by the time you start, wanting to get an apartment by yourself, you need to go register at the government office. You wouldn't have a very hard time. So it's important to note that although you may live in a big city like Berlin, like I do, where a lot of people speak English, it is in your interest to commit to learning German. Also, depending on your program, if you are not in a program that's an international program, you may be required by the embassy for visa application purposes to actually provide proof of German. So this is also something to keep in mind, that you cannot expect that you'll be able to get by on just English language in Germany. That's important. Number 3, you won't miss home. I think the conversation around what is going on in our countries right now can be very sad, and as a Nigerian, a lot of people are looking for ways to leave the country. There's nothing wrong with it. However, a lot of us don't realize that we have been brought up in our countries in a certain cultural way. Over the years, we are used to a certain type of food, we are used to a certain type of atmosphere, we are very used to a certain type of community. But in our quest to leave the country, we feel like everywhere else is better until we get there. And this is something that many immigrants cannot explain, but when they experience it, then it's also hard to explain to people how excruciatingly lonely you feel and how much you miss home. How sometimes just seeing something that looks like home makes your day, your week, and your month better. So it's important that when you get to the point where you are almost coming to Germany, or you are about to come to Germany, or you have now, before you arrive in Germany, you have to think about ways in which you will make yourself feel a bit better about where you are when you do not have access to things that represent home to you. Number 4, this one is quite interesting. You can make loads of money. Many Nigerians tell you when you are trying to go to another country, either to study or to work, oh, the economy is big and you're going to get this type of job and you're going to make this amount of money. And then they calculate the amount of money, for example, like the minimum wage in Naira. There's nothing wrong with that, but that does not really represent the true state of things. When you're earning money in a certain currency, like in euro, for example, and you live in Germany, you're spending the money in Germany. So you have to think about the markets where you'll be spending the money, as opposed to thinking about it in terms of the currency of your country, either in Naira or in Cephas or in cedis. In Germany, as a student, assuming now you've gotten the visa and you are here, most students are given a visa, especially students from outside the EU and the EEA area, are given visas that allows them only to work for 120 full days or 240 half days in a year. What does this mean? This means that even if you want to work, you're only allowed to work part-time, which is 20 hours a week, as opposed to 40 hours, which is full-time. And this is logical because as a student, you need to pay attention to what you came to do. And if you're working full-time, clearly you won't be able to study and work at the same time. But you are allowed to work part-time, and with this you can pay your bills. Now, depending on the type of jobs that you find, also in subsequent videos we'll talk about what type of jobs you can do as a student, depending on what you study and what amount of time you have. If you have a mini job, most of these jobs pay very little amount. Some jobs don't even pay up to 500 euros a month. If you are lucky and you get a proper position, you're still going to be around minimum wage. And by the time you pay your school, your accommodation, which is also not cheap, we will also talk about housing in Germany in future videos. You pay your accommodation, you buy food, you buy clothes, and weather-specific clothing. You realize that you hardly have anything left behind. So at least, especially in the beginning, don't come with the impression that I'm going to make a lot of money. That should not be the goal. The goal is not really about the money, and especially when you haven't been used to certain types of weather and you have to go out and work, you realize how hard it is. When you think about it, how easier it was in your country than it is in Germany. So this is something to think about. It's not quite as easy as people make it sound, that you make a buttload of money. Number 5 is the health insurance situation in Germany. In Germany, it is compulsory to have health insurance. This is something also that adds the costs that a student has to pay, or everybody actually has to pay. But as a student, it might be a bit harder, especially if you do not have unlimited resources. Most students will not qualify for public health insurance. Public health insurance is subsidized and is so much cheaper and is more widespread. However, a lot of students, especially if they don't have scholarship, even the ones who have scholarship, have to resort to private health insurance. Private health insurance in Germany is quite expensive. And for the most part, you have to pay for things out of pocket and claim it back from your health insurance, which means that when you're sick, if you end up falling sick or there is an accident, you go to the hospital, you have to pay for it and claim the money back. And if your insurance company does not cover some services, then you probably do not have, you have to pay for it by yourself. So this is something that you do not have a choice in the matter. It is compulsory to have health insurance in Germany, and this is an additional cost. So this also fits into the conversation around how much money you need and why it's not as cheap as people make it sound. So, but I can tell you something, that if you're an adult and you want to have good quality, no frills education, Germany is the place to be. So I don't want to end this video on a very negative note. No, I don't want to do that, because I don't want this video to sound like do not come to Germany. That's not the point. The point is come to Germany with realistic expectations if you are looking or thinking about coming to Germany. So in subsequent videos, we are going to continue the conversation, but in a more positive light as to what are the things to look forward to when you want to study in Germany and what do you need to do. This series is going to continue additionally with exploring topics around getting scholarships, around finding programs to actually apply to, around for postgraduate students, for example, finding suitable programs, for PhD candidates, for example, finding professors, how to write proposals, how to find professors to supervise your thesis. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you join me in the next one. Please subscribe. I look forward to your subscription, and please like and share this video. Thank you very much. Bye. Have you subscribed to the Lady Lawyer channel yet? Really? You haven't? Why not? Just press the button, okay? You only need to press the button. Press it now. I'm waiting. Thank you.